Hi guys, my name is Fahd Dawood. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I talk about investments, specifically real estate investments, more specific sometimes Dubai real estate investments, your life, my life, your path, my path to financial freedom. No surprise, we're in the middle of the sea outbreak. I think we're closing out towards the end. I pray that we are. But a few interesting things have come about, right? So me being the eternal optimist, today I met my bank manager and we hit it off, and I was telling him, I was talking to him, the entire branch was empty. They had to open up for a few couple of clients for some of the things that we needed to do with regards to our personal and business. And he had time on his hands, so we started talking, right? One of the things that we got to talking when I said to him that, look, I've lived through the 2003 SARS outbreak in Toronto. I just hope that things will go back to normal, or maybe this is the new norm, right? Maybe this is how the new world will operate. Who knows? We don't know. But let's look at the positive aspects, right? And this is something that the bank manager reminded me, and he talked to me about this, and he said, there are some unintended benefits that have come out of this. And I wanted to jump the gun. I want to start talking, and I want to start saying, yeah, I know that there are several unintended benefits that have come about. For instance, I know about this, but I just wanted to listen, right? I wanted to listen to this person who's running a bank branch. Obviously his business is affected. He's thinking about, is he going to still get paid the entire salary for the month? At what stage is his bank going to say, listen, we're going to extend a 30, 50%, 15%, 30% cut across everybody. But here he said, there's some unintended benefits for this. And one of the things that he mentioned was, Earth is kind of like breathing, right? I don't know if this was anecdotal or if it was true, but I heard that people in China said they hadn't seen the sky in ages, and finally they got to see the sky, right? He's telling me about a picture of Islamabad, the capital of Pakistan, where my parents, where myself, I'm from, right? He talked about how pictures of Islamabad had come to me, and it was beautiful, clear blue skies, and it was just so amazing, right? And then I told him, right, also families are getting together now more, and you're finally learning exactly how much you love your wife and your wife loves you. So there's these unintended benefits that are coming across to us, and it's how you take them, your approach to them. One of the things that I actually believe is really coming to the fore the world over, and I think that's going to be the new norm, is how now, for the last 30 years we've been saying that technology is changing our lives. It has changed our lives, but if you really go down to the core of it, even though we've got this, I would say we've had like two or three spurts of technological advancements that have made remarkable changes in our lives, but we have not seen a dramatic change in the way we live. Okay, what do I mean? So let's say, in the early 90s, like we know that email and the internet and the intranet existed in the 60s, but it was being used between the US military only. But let's say, and then some universities were sending email across to each other. But really, the late 80s or early 90s, internet kind of started taking off. And we were sort of like playing with it, just touching it a little bit. And we were feeling like, okay, what is this thing, right? Oh, wow, a website loads with some pages, with some pictures and some information. And then after that, I think the dot-com bubble is when the internet really started taking off, right? Where people started really benefiting, and you could get access to information more easier. The web pages became better. I think this was like the time of Web 2.0 or Web 3.0. And I think the third or the fourth real shift that happened was with the, when Apple changed the complete landscape with the iPhone and the plethora of applications that came about. And today we can almost, kind of live our life from our smartphone, right? However, if you really, really think about it, there are tons of industries that need to be completely revamped, shaken up, and a new way of doing business need to come to them, right? Some of the ones that come to my mind is banking, real estate, education. We're still pretty much following the same model. We've just gone kind of online, right? And I think that the benefit of what we have right now, the situation that we're in currently now, one of the key major benefits is the adoption of technology is going to be super fast. Not just that, but the way we're going to start doing business is going to be much different. Now I want to share an example with you, okay? Like if you're sitting there and thinking, no, you know, technology's totally changed the way we do business and we're like completely in sync with everything. I want you to take a moment and think about how you currently might be doing business, okay? This is how I was doing business up until 2008, 9, 10, 11, right? If you needed information on a company, you would ideally go to the internet, look it up. On the web page, you could find out who the CEO was, the board members, the managing directors, do some more research on LinkedIn, so on and so forth, right? Now, if you wanted to do the same kind of research in the 80s or 90s on a particular company that's perhaps not in your country, you would have to probably go to the US embassy. Let's say if you're in Dubai and you want to review a company that's based in the US, you'd have to go to the US embassy, try to check their directory or whatever they have on that particular company and try to gather as much information, or perhaps even write to them to ask them for more information. But you know, after 2000, after the internet, you can pretty much go to the internet and find the information. Boom. However, let me ask you very seriously, did finding and access to that information at your fingertips and within snaps of your finger, actually with that knowledge, did it help you start doing business at the speed of lightning? Was it super fast? I personally think not, right? So at the time when I was being mentored by other CEOs, I would see that it would take 5, 10 meetings, going to people. Sometimes they would fly to the UK. I remember this is a time when Lehman Brothers was still alive, and our CEO and our chairman had to fly to the UK to have a one-on-one, face-to-face personal meeting, because that's how business gets done. And then it was a couple of rounds of meetings and emails and contracts before the deal could be sealed and we could move forward, right? So even though technology came to us, we were still pretty much doing business the old way. And the reason was because, I don't want to say this, right? For everybody who was every old timer, even though they adapted to technology, the way they did business was still the old way. I think we're at that cusp where the people who started using the internet in the 90s and the 2000s, and then came the smartphones, they kind of grew up with the internet, and then came the smartphone that really propelled them forward. I think I count myself in that generation, right? So we are the ones who are going to change the way business is really getting done. And I think the current outbreak that we have and the way that we've gone, everybody, like, you know, I've got a friend in France, and this person said to me that as long as I've got internet and Wi-Fi, I'm pretty okay, even with this lockdown situation. So I think that what's going to happen after this is we're going to really start utilizing technology to propel our business forward. And me being the eternal optimist, no matter how bad it gets for the world and how bad we suffer during this situation, I think the true advancement is going to come when we start using technology, and any losses that we make, we're going to overcome them much faster going forward, right? I want to give you an example. For instance, the way we sell and buy real estate in Dubai. Dubai is a young country in terms of real estate, right? The real estate industry in Dubai is like 15 to 20 years old, like the international real estate industry, where anybody from anywhere in the world can come and buy real estate in Dubai. It's 15 to 20 years old, right? It's not like 50, 60 years old. And we've got a lot of regulations in place that protect the investor, protect the developer, protect the government, protect everybody who's a stakeholder. However, the real estate transactions still take place with certain amount of paperwork that needs actual signatures, money that needs actual changing of hands, so on and so forth, and that's perfectly fine. But about 2 years ago, the local head of the regulatory agency, I heard him say this, like, this is when Bitcoin was going up like this. In every seminar you attended, they wanted to talk about the Bitcoin and blockchain technology, right? So I'm a big believer in blockchain technology. I'm not going to comment on Bitcoin. There's a lot of information out there. Do your own research on that. But I think blockchain technology is going to propel us forward when it comes to real estate as well, to be able to do a lot of things quickly and fast, right? I want to give you an example. If any of you are above 35, okay, above 35, and you were traveling internationally from a young age, okay, so I've been traveling since I was a toddler, right? Because I was born and raised in Dubai, but I'm originally from Pakistan, so I used to always, every summer, we used to go and make that trip to Pakistan, right? What I would say is, if you remember, we used to get those tickets, those manual tickets, airline tickets, and if you wanted to fly, you had to present that actual ticket. So much so that that ticket was actual money. If you lose that ticket, you've lost your right to fly, right? You can't fly. You can't go to the airline and say, can you issue me another ticket? In fact, somebody I know traveled from Pakistan to Toronto, and I think it was fraudulently done to them. But what the person at the check-in counter did was rip out both pages. The page, the ticket that allowed them to fly to Toronto, and the part of the ticket that allowed them to fly from Toronto back to Pakistan. Now, if you rip that ticket out, technically speaking, anybody else can use it, or you can refund it, okay? You can get a refund out of it. Now, here's the main problem about this, right? This person got fraudulently lost their ticket, lost half the value of that ticket, which could be about $3,000-4,000 at that time, or $2,000 at that time. Couldn't do anything about it. And I remember in 2002, 2003, Emirates, with other airlines around the world, announced that, you know what, instead of going to airline ticketing agents, you can buy a ticket directly from Emirates yourself, right? Now, if you've actually flown before with those tickets, you'll also know that, airline agents used to sit and they used to, bring out your tickets, and it used to be like this whole mega process, which was annoying actually, to be honest with you, right? And then it moved online, and everybody thought, hey, Emirates is cutting out all these ticketing agents, and it's going to be confusing, and who's going to do this? And lo and behold, about 16, 17, 18 years later, almost everybody, unless you can't do that, buys an airline ticket online yourself, okay? That's where we headed with real estate as well, specifically in Dubai. Mark my words, you heard it here first. The Dubai government is so progressive. I think they've set a standard of 2020 April or 2022. I'm not exactly sure. You can correct me. For the government to go completely paperless, right? So even during this outbreak, the projects haven't stopped working, okay? So they're still doing the things that they need to do to make sure that they go paperless. And now as the government goes paperless, all real estate transactions are also going to go paperless. So you're going to be able to buy or sell and transfer an actual property using blockchain technology in the background that the government's going to implement, or any other kind of technology, completely online. And I heard the head of the real estate agency say this, okay? 2 years ago, when blockchain and Bitcoin was the hype, that Dubai government wants you to be able to buy or sell your property while you're at lunch. It's gonna happen, and in my next 2 videos, I'm gonna cover how you might be able to buy or sell an actual ready physical property today, online, without ever stepping foot in Dubai, and how you might be able to buy a property in Dubai, off plan, under construction, with a reputable developer. Watch out for my next 2 videos. Hit the subscribe button. press the bell icon, right? I would like to make some more videos on a regular basis. Hit me with WhatsApp, because the number below, I'm available on WhatsApp. I always reply to your questions. You can ask me a question in the comment section as well. If you want to work one-on-one, send me a message on WhatsApp. I'll email you how we can do that. Ciao. See you on the other side. The next 2 videos soon I'm going to explain how you can do it all remotely. Check you out soon.